Welcome to Vancouver Television. We're alive. You're watching Vancouver Television. We're alive.
Good morning! 0 degrees, 7 o'clock. You're watching Vancouver Breakfast. I'm Linda Freeman.
And I'm Amr Halim. It's actually 6 a.m.
They're trying to confuse us.
We're ahead of ourselves this morning, a little ahead of ourselves. So don't worry, don't panic. You're not an hour late.
Oh my God!
No, calm down, calm down.
It's okay.
It is 0 degrees though, because we're wearing these gloves. I borrowed this from our assistant director, Carning. Thanks, Carning, to keep me warm.
Keep you nice and warm. Yeah, gloves are a good thing today. You're listening to Garnet Edwards inside playing some great music.
Yeah.
They've got a couple of videos out on the Country Music Network.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to them and listening to them a little bit later on in the program.
Thankfully, their sounds are keeping us warm this morning. Also, are you planning a trip? Well, pack one of these little portable toothbrushes, and we'll also tell you what you need to do to be safe during the holidays or your holiday as far as keeping your belongings close at hand.
Carbon monoxide, another problem this time of year. Fireplaces, you might forget to keep the vent open. Could cause some problems. We're going to talk about how to put a carbon monoxide detector into your home and how it could save your life. And
are you thinking about volunteering this year? Well, Ted will show you how you can get involved in your community. Ted?
Hey, I'm going to be talking to William Hampson Wong this morning from the Burnaby Volunteer Center, because you know what? If you volunteer, you can expand your social life and do good for all of humankind. Coming up here on the big remote location.
Lovely music, and that is in fact keeping us warm this morning, thankfully.
It is, but it is a chilly day,
yes.
And we're going to see cooler temperatures for about the next 3 or 4 days, but lots of sunshine to tell you about. So today, mainly sunny, a little on the cool side, a high of only about 3 degrees, and a -5 overnight. So
yeah, well,
cool.
We're freezing on the sidewalk, but someone who's nice and warm is our friend Sonia Nordahl up in the VTV Newsroom. Sonia?
Thanks very much, Amar. You're right, it is nice and warm in here.
It was a whole...
Good evening. It's been almost 10 years since the brutal assault on pro-democracy protesters in Beijing's Tiananmen.
Firefighters are on the scene of a fire at the Vancouver Police Station, Main Street at this hour. The building has been evacuated. No word on any injuries just yet. Plenty of noise in the skies over East Vancouver as police experimented with what could be the next big weapon in the fight against crime.
Good morning and welcome to VTV Breakfast on this Thursday, December 21st, 2000. It's 8:30, 4 degrees. Our musical guest inside is a gentleman named Richard Stepp. Have a listen.
Well, come on over, baby. We got chicken in the bar, yeah. Come on over, baby. Baby got the bull by the horn.
All right, thank you very much, Richard. Nice for you to join us. He's been our musical guest this morning. Whole lot of shaking going on. Nicola, how's the weather? Would Jerry Lee Lewis be proud?
Well, we'll see what happens later today on there. Right now, 7 degrees and clear into Fino. That could be an indication of a little bit of clearing taking place, but we're still expecting a mix of rain and snow today due to this frontal system that's way on its way towards the region. 3 degrees right now at the airport. No stalls or accidents. I'll be back in 6 minutes with more weather and traffic.
Inside our kitchen, it's the one, the only Big Al, and Big Al is going to be making his famous Big Al's fruitcake for us this morning. We'll switch from his usual Cajun cooking recipe, so we're looking forward to that. Let's go to Tamara Taggart on location to get a preview of what she's going to be doing in this half hour.
Good morning. We're at Options Snowboards in Vancouver. We've taken you through all the steps of making a snowboard. Finishing department. Oh yeah, look over there. Renee has a finished snowboard, and Byron is going to take us through the finishing department here at Options Snowboards.
Time now for your latest news. Let's go up to Colleen Christie and get the latest with VTV News this morning.
Thank you, Amir. Good morning.
This is VTV News at 6.
Tonight, the final chapter in our series on the devastating floods of Venezuela. A Vancouver band was...
This is Vancouver Television.
did they come to harm her? That's what she's thinking.
Tonight, a new low. Surrey thieves brutalize a wheelchair-bound senior citizen.
Here come the goodies. An ICBC rebate is the latest sign that a spring election is in the air.
Go out and vote, but just not for us.
And taking it off to get out the vote. The son of a former premier fights voter apathy on campus.
This is VTV News at 6.
Good evening. It is a crime that has appalled an entire community. The theft of a motorized... Tonight,
The staff member's been released, unharmed. The women are in segregation.
a prison hostage drama ends, but could job cuts put guards' lives at risk? Frustration on the Fraser.
Over 6 million bloody fish, and we can't fish.
Protests by commercial fishermen may soon turn violent. And a sporting weekend. The Indy takes over downtown Vancouver, while the ACC holds up in Surrey.
From our British Columbia newsroom, this is CTV News at 6 with Bridget Anderson.
Good evening.
And CTV News continues as we welcome Bill Good to the CTV family. Bill?
Thank you, Ravi and Colleen. It's Monday, September 3rd, and you are watching BC CTV Tonight. Life and death on Mount Baker.
He was barely conscious when we got to him, and our job was to prevent as much shock as we could.
The rescue arrives, but it is too late for one hiker. Deadly crash of police pursuit ends with an innocent bystander killed. And blame Canada.
I'm really not sure how it affects me, but I know I'm not getting any wood right now.
The softwood lumber war from both sides of the border. From our British Columbia newsroom, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Bill Good. It is becoming an all-too-familiar story. A hit and run involving a stolen car and an innocent pedestrian is dead.
I hope that you have had fun in the last hour. We hope you have too.
All right, the news continues indeed. Here's Bill Good and Canada's newest citizen, Pamela Martin, with CTV News at 6.
Well, thank you, Ravi and Colleen. Today is Canada Day. It's Monday, July 1st.
And you are watching CTV, the best of BC Tonight. Fatal flight. A small plane crashes at Boundary Bay Airport, killing 2.
Happy birthday, Canada. Why did police move in to quash some patriotic displays?
And the Maple Leaf forever. A familiar face becomes a Canadian citizen.
Live from Canada Place, this is CTV News at 6 with Bill Good and Pamela Martin.
Good evening and happy Canada Day. Time now for CTV News at 6, live from Kelowna. Here are Bill Good and Pamela Martin.
Thank you, Colleen. It is Tuesday, August 26th.
And you are watching CTV live from Kelowna tonight. Range of emotions.
We're a burned-out victim. We lost everything.
The reality sets in for Kelowna families who have lost their homes.
Mother Nature cooperates after a brief reprieve. What's next for firefighters in Kelowna?
And trapped behind a wall of flames.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it'll kill you. Get out of there, dummy.
A dramatic tale of survival.
It was overwhelming, and it caught us off guard.
Live from Kelowna, this is CTV News at 6. Here are Bill Good and Pamela Martin.
Good evening from the Emergency Center here in Kelowna. It is being described as a good day for firefighters on the front line.
Tonight, coping with the cold.
I'll have the latest for you on how long this cold snap will last and when we can expect more snow.
Treacherous travel. What TransLink is planning for the commute tomorrow. And water advisory lifted with a warning what you need to do before you drink the tap water.
CTV News at 5. Your home, your news. Here is Carrie Adams.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The Lower Mainland and the Fraser Valley are digging out from a major snowstorm.
9 months later,
I would really like to thank everybody in the public who had anything to do with the capture of this person.
Police say they've cracked the case of the double murder outside the Purple Onion nightclub.
And a life-saving ride for a hiker on the North Shore.
This is CTV News at 6 with Pamela Martin and Bill Good.
Good evening. We begin tonight with breaking news, the discovery of a body in Langley.
Grew quickly through the night into a raging inferno. So far, the fire has the upper hand as more and more people are being forced to flee their homes. As many as 17,000 residents will spend tonight with friends, family, or in emergency shelters as firefighters try to gain a foothold. What everyone is praying for, a break in the weather as crews grapple with tinder dry conditions, gusting winds, and scorching temperatures. This is forest fire season in BC, and tonight the people of the Okanagan are again on the front lines.
CTV News at 6. Your home, your news.
Good evening. Right now, dozens of firefighters are desperately trying to save homes tonight in a densely populated neighborhood of West Kelowna. A scene of devastation in the Okanagan. Houses destroyed by raging wildfires, others threatened, and thousands of people forced out of their homes. A state of emergency has been declared. And tonight, we have exclusive footage from inside the evacuation zone.
CTV News at 11:30. Your home, your news.
Good evening. We have special team coverage again tonight from the Okanagan, where forest fires continue to threaten several West Kelowna neighborhoods. Happy Canada Day, everyone, as our country celebrates its 143rd birthday. We are broadcasting live from downtown Vancouver.
We're in full swing here at Jackpool Plaza, and to mark Canada Day, the Olympic cauldron is burning brightly for the first time since the Paralympic Games.
From Jackpool Plaza in downtown Vancouver, this is CTV News. Here are Mi Jung Lee and Mike Khalid.
And a very good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. It is great to be broadcasting here from the center of all the Canada Day action.
This is CTV News at 6. Here is Bill Good.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news in East Vancouver.
That is CTV News at 5. Thanks for joining us. CTV News at 6 starts right now.
From Robson and Burrard in downtown Vancouver, this is CTV News. Here are Pamela Martin and Bill Good.
Good evening.
Tonight, BC is now free to forge ahead with the harmonized sales tax. The new strategy restaurant owners are using to fight back.
It's not too late. This is just the legislation that's passed.
A pastor is sent to jail for child pornography.
It is a shock to the congregation.
The disturbing video he posted online. And 'tis the season for break-ins. We'll tell you where you're most likely to be targeted.
This is CTV News at 11:30. Here is Gina Yu.
Good evening. The fight against the harmonized sales tax.
Tonight, Vancouver bans butts at the beach. When will smoking no longer be allowed, and how will the city enforce it?
From Robson and Burrard in downtown Vancouver, this is CTV News. Here is Carrie Adams.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. This could be the last summer people in Vancouver.
We'll have the latest on the earthquake in Chile and the Olympic road closures planned for tomorrow next as CTV News Winter Games edition continues. This has become one of the signature shots of these games, the cauldron burning in Cole Harbour with the golden rings behind it.
That's right, 13 golden times. And here's the crowd. They're always very excited.
A warm and welcoming crowd. As Tamara joins us with the weather.
Yeah, the drizzle has stopped for now, and
an explosive fire in Surrey. What caused a blaze that forced the shutdown of a major highway?
Just under a month to go until pot is legal. Why it may be harder than you think to find a store that sells it in BC.
And epic proposal, the moment that stole the show at the Emmy Awards.
CTV Morning Live with Carrie Adams, Jason Perez, Sonia Bieksma, and Mark Dreesen.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being with us. It's Tuesday, September 18th. Also coming up,
TV News taking on the drug makers.
This is the worst public health emergency in decades in British Columbia.
The province now suing the opioid giants, while our leaders say it's time to take action. Also ahead, Air Canada says it's been hacked, so how can you figure out if you're among the thousands whose details may have been scooped up? Plus, a sweltering, sweaty day at the U.S. Open, so why is this courtside costume change sparking so much controversy?
Let's change right here.
This is CTV News with David Malco.
And good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. The BC government has filed a landmark lawsuit against drug companies. Tonight on CTV News, sextortion warning.
Do not accept friend requests from people you don't know.
From friend requests to murky emails, what to look out for to avoid becoming a victim. Also ahead, the province takes on the opioid giants.
This is the worst public health emergency in decades.
While we hear from those who say the little pills destroyed their lives.
Better now than never.
And later,
let's change right here.
a courtside costume change at the U.S. Open sparks controversy.
I'm very surprised about it, actually, to be honest.
As other players come to her defense.
If I would say my true feelings, it would be bleeped out.
This is CTV News with David Malco.
And good afternoon. Our top story this hour, a public alert from Burnaby RCMP.
Tonight on CTV News. Fatal crash.
Initial information was one of the vehicles may have been on fire with potentially people trapped.
One person dead, police looking for answers. Plus, a suspected arsonist caught on camera, now caught by police. What led to his arrest? And an emotional reunion.
My heart wants to explode. This is just the most fantastic thing.
A World War I medal lost for decades is finally coming home to a BC family.
This is CTV News with Nafisa Kareem.
Good evening. A devastating crash in Surrey has killed one person. Tonight on CTV News. Human remains found near UBC.
It makes me feel very sad that there's a dead body in the woods here.
What's getting in the way of investigating the discovery of a human bone? And the fentanyl crisis and how health officials are bracing for the worst this New Year's Eve.
We don't have enough resources out there.
Drug users warned to use extreme caution. Plus, saying goodbye to the year that was.
It can only get better.
And how Mother Nature tries to interfere with the festivities for New Year's Eve.
This is CTV News with Julie Nolan.
Good evening and Happy New Year. While celebrations to ring in 2017 are in full swing.
CTV News continues. Here's what's making news right now.
The new year rocked by deadly violence in Surrey.
Couldn't believe that it happened so soon.
How a witness played a crucial role in tracking down the suspect. Also tonight, plunging property values.
It's the action of the various levels of government.
Which homes are seeing the biggest price drop? And the surprising royal connection to a Vancouver Island photo.
Next thing I know, there's a lady in front of us asking if she would like to take our photo for us.
How Meghan Markle ended up being this couple's photographer.
This is CTV News with me, Jung Lee.
Good evening. A brave Good Samaritan appears to have played a key role in helping Mounties in Surrey follow and catch a suspect.
Tonight on CTV News. A plane goes down near Nanaimo. What we're learning about the crash that killed 3 people. And talons versus tentacles, a rare battle caught on camera. But did the humans involved do the right thing?
This is CTV News with Norma Reed.
Devastating images near Nanaimo tonight as CTV's Chopper 9 flies over the scene of a deadly plane crash. This is all that's left of a twin-engine aircraft that went down last night on Gabriola Island, killing 3 people. Investigators say that there are no survivors, but so far, they aren't exactly sure why the plane suddenly plummeted right into the ground. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. CTV has learned a Vancouver Island man, an extremely experienced pilot, was one of the 3 people killed.
Look to Vancouver Television News for coverage of the Lower Mainland that's different. Our extensive live capabilities bring you the news when it happens from where it happens. You'll see stories that reflect Vancouver, stories that you won't see anywhere else. Our entertainment team is everywhere. If it's happening in Vancouver, they'll tell you about it. If your television news isn't speaking to you, you finally got an alternative. Vancouver Live at 6, weeknights on VTV, because how you see your city depends on where you look.